Let's give a couple of minutes for people to jump across sessions, and we'll start soon. I think we're 2 minutes in, so just going to start. Hey, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. My name is Vishal. I'm a principal architect for R&D at Quantify. I'm going to be one of the moderators for today's event. And it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to AI Qonfluence 2024, our virtual online symposium, where we're going to cover some of the interesting research from our R&D teams. If you're joining us from one of our earlier sessions in the event, I hope you're enjoying the event so far. Thank you for your continued participation. But if this is your first session in the conference, a warm welcome from all of us. We're excited to bring you some interesting stuff your way, right? So this session is more on documents. We all know that documents contain a wealth of information, and almost every enterprise has tons of them, but often very limited options when it comes to making a complete sense of these documents, because it's kind of tricky, right? So in this current session, we'll explore some recent developments in the area of intelligent document processing. And I have with me Senior Research Engineer, Dr. Harikrishnan, to cover some of the trends and analysis on the usage of multimodal AI systems in this area. So without further ado, let me hand it over. Dr. Hari, please take it away.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Harikrishnan and I'm a Senior Research Engineer at Quantify. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you to this session. I'm so happy to have you here. Today's session will be discussing about the advancements in intelligent document processing powered by multimodal generative AI and the significance of having a hybrid approach to improve the accuracy and efficiency of the system. So we'll first start with an introduction to IDP and its core tasks, followed by OCR-based approaches and generative AI-based approaches and its cost aspects. Then we'll also discuss about having a hybrid approach to improve the efficiency and accuracy through a practical example. So IDP is all about having an automated processing of your data to reduce the manual efforts, which improves the data extraction ability through generative AI, computer vision, and NLP approaches. It helps us to do better decision making and also support us to have compliance and security of your documents. But it also has its own challenges, like you will have to face a lot of documents which are multi-pages with continuous changes in layouts and formats and templates, and you need to have so many tasks which are downstream tasks which you need to cover, and there should be so many reasoning tasks also which you need to cover. So having a trade-off between these benefits and balance of IDP will take us to a better solution to handle documents effectively. So IDP applications are across the industries, starting from banking to finance to healthcare and insurance, manufacturing and human resource. All across there, it helps to automate their document handling, form filling, and document management. Thus, it's an unavoidable application, needs to be there across the industries. Let's think about the major applications of IDP and how it helps. It starts from document pre-processing to clean the documents and have better documents, to have a classification layer which can helps to segregate documents into categories, and an information extraction system which tries to help you to extract different information from the document, and a question answering session followed by maybe a table detection and recognition task to extract relevant tables from the images, having a summarization module which helps to summarize the contents of the documents effectively, and finally having a detection of anomalies which helps to work with identifying different anomalies within the documents to solve the problems. So starting from the pre-processing stage to anomaly detection, all these tasks are vital in IDP to have an efficient system that processes real-world applications. Let's discuss about some approaches which people traditionally use to solve IDP tasks. Let's look at the OCR-based approaches first. The first approach uses plain OCR, which is applied on the document to get plain text, followed by the text is applied on text processing methods like regex and fuzzy to extract the relevant entities or other elements. These methods are very, very simple, but they can handle very simple templates, but they are not scalable and they are not reliable on documents like the ones with different layouts and templates. There comes the second approach, which leverages deep learning based object detection model to solve the problem. So an object detection model is trained to identify fields. For instance, from a document like KYC, it is trained to detect the name, address, ID card number, followed by an OCR to identify the text present in it. Even though this is better than the regex based approaches, still they are not fully taking the information present in the document like layout information, textual information, and visual information. There comes the third approach, which uses all the three modalities like text, vision, and layout, using the models like Layout LM or Donnet, and they holistically understand the document by considering all the modalities, which obviously improve the extraction or classification or any other task in the IDP. The one point which you need to look at it is OCR is the heart of all these systems. Without OCR, you cannot do any of these applications using these approaches. Let's look at some advantages and area for improvements. Since these models are smaller, they require very less computing power and they work really faster with less latency, such that they are suitable for specific tasks in real world applications with resource limited situations. Also, you can do faster fine tuning with these models with limited samples when the templates are less varying within the documents. Still, you need to improve a lot of places such that multitask models, like which are trained to solve multiple tasks, and you need to have models which can adapt to different layouts and different problem statements with minimal fine tuning or minimal changes. And understanding the context across multiple pages are very vital in the domains like healthcare, where you need to analyze different medical reports spanning across pages. And having reasoning capabilities more than extraction is a value add, like for summarization and profiling in all the IDP applications. Now let's look at generative AI based approaches. So the first approach uses OCR at the first layer to extract the plain text out of the document, then use text based LLMs like GPT-4 or anything to get the relevant task done. The second approach is where instead of text-based LLM, we can use multimodal LLMs like GPT-4o Vision or Gemini 1.5 Pro, which can directly process either text or images as it is. If you can add OCR or layout information as additional input, it improves its accuracy. So the better advantages of having generative AI based or LLM based approaches, they have the capabilities to perform different tasks with minimal fine tuning or minimal prompt engineering, and they can handle multiple pages, different layouts, and different templates with minimal approaches and minimal efforts. They can generalize to well edge cases and different problem statements without much fine tuning, thanks to the different approaches like few shot prompting or COT or RAG approaches. They also works very good in really complex tasks. Also, they can provide you with relevant answers in structured formats like JSON or HTML. Still, they face some challenges in real-world application because of its latency and computing requirements. And LLMs mostly can provide you like possible results, but which are irrelevant or inaccurate, which are usually called hallucinations. Reducing hallucination is very critical in terms of applications like healthcare. Also, extensive prompting is a critical thing and which requires domain expertise. And having a simple prompting approach to solve real-time problems is necessary in terms of LLM-based approaches. So we have discussed about LLM based approaches and OCR based approaches. Let's have a task inside. Let's have a study which compares where it works and where which methods works. So this study will give an understanding when to use LLM based approach and when to use specialized model approach. We have carried out a empirical study which using public data sets for fair evaluation and comparison. We cover document classification, key information extraction, table recognition, and VQA task on the study. So document classification is where documents are classified into different buckets. It has something called as page-wise classification to multi-page classifications like document bundles, page streams, and page splits. When it comes to page-wise classification, you don't need to worry about the continuity, but the actual real applications is where documents like document bundle, page streams like bank statements, etc. You need to have the continuity to be understood, where the document are holistically needs to be analyzed for better classification. Let's look at the multi-page document classification results. So as you can see, multimodal LLMs works really better in terms of accuracy. As you can see, Gemini 1.5 Pro and GPT-4o gives you better results, and they understand the document's multi-page content holistically and efficiently understand the context of the document. Also, you need to note down that they process with higher accuracy when all the pages are fed together with less latency, such that it improves the accuracy without any reduction in the latency. But the specialized models like Donut or DIT large, they are not par in the level of accuracy as MLLMs because they process documents page by page. They don't understand the holistic understanding of the documents, and they don't understand the continuity. Such that for document classification, to understand the holistic understanding, it's better to go with multimodal LLM for multi-page document classification. Let's check the multi-page document visual question answering, where you need to answer questions from a set of pages. Here also, multimodal LLMs works better than specialized models as per the results. And you need to understand that even though multimodal LLMs works better than the specialized models, their accuracy or performance also drops when the number of page span increases. At the same time, specialized models does not even perform on more than one page, as evident in the results where there are no results for the multi-page sections. So here also, in order to understand the multi-page context, multimodal LLMs are better in terms of both precision and latency than specialized models. Let's look at key information extraction. So in key information extraction, as you can see, multimodal LLMs performance are varied. Here, even though GPT-4o provides you satisfactory performance with a higher latency, Gemini gives you efficiency but at a cost of accuracy. But in key information extraction, specialized models works really well in terms of both accuracy as well as latency. It's because they are specially trained to do key information extraction tasks. So you know that even though multimodal LLMs are versatile, they are still yet to reach the level of specialized model for specific structured information extraction tasks. Let's also discuss about the table recognition. Same as previous, here also, since it's the structured information extraction, like extracting tables from images in HTML format, multimodal LLMs does not give very good results, and also they possess higher latency because they are not effective in handling complex and structured tables. On the other hand, PP structure, which is a specialized model for table recognition, designed specifically for table recognition and giving you higher performance with very fast and minimal latency. Now that we have seen about the empirical studies of different aspects on multimodal LLMs, let's look at the cost comparison. Even those multimodal LLMs perform really well in terms of performance, there comes an added latency and cost, as you can see for GPT-4o or Sonnet 3.5, where we have evaluated it for a key information extraction on 1000 pages. There is an exception of Gemini 1.5, which works ultra faster, but it's not a common thing. But when it comes to specialized models, they are cheaper and cost effective for specific tasks, but they are not generalizable or they are not flexible to do different tasks at the same time. So there comes the requirement of having a hybrid framework or approach which can utilize the advantages of both specialized and multimodal LLMs. Let's see that with an user example and a real world application. Let's take the use case of an insurance claim processing. Let's start with the document classification where claim forms, medical reports, etc. are classified using multimodal LLMs, because as per the empirical study, we know that multimodal LLMs works really well for document classification where multi-pages are really critical. Once the classification is done, let's use specialized models for the structured information extraction. As structured information extraction, specialized models works better than LLMs. Once the information is extracted, the validation, question answering, and decision making can be made use of multimodal LLM because of its better reasoning capabilities. Also, once the informations are extracted and decisions are made, you can use multimodal LLMs for interactive conversation with the saved data and metadata which is present in the database. By using a combination of all these multimodal LLMs and specialized models, you can effectively handle a practical example like insurance claim processing. So obviously you get a doubt in your mind that how is the data annotation happening, how the data collection happening, how the training all process happening here. So for that, we'll be discussing about a hybrid IDP framework using a agentic framework which we have designed to do IDP tasks. Let's discuss. So before, I would like to recall the session handled by Sai, Muni and Gautam on agentic workflows, which is very effective for complex workflows. Building on top of that, we have our hybrid IDP framework, which is built on top of agentic flow. Here, the heart of our system is an LLM, which works as an agent. So by using the business rules, input documents, and problem specifications, LLM agents do a planning and decide which are the tasks to be carried out to solve the problem. The task can be varied from document classification to table extraction and so on based on the use case and the problem description. Once the models are selected, the relevant tasks are executed based on the model selected by the LLM, and the results and the documents are stored in the database. In order to continuously improve the process, we use these selected data and the results to do an automatic annotation process. We have an automated annotation pipeline. We have a synthetic data generation which uses the input documents, business rules, and problem statements as seed samples and generate synthetic documents such that you don't need to always rely on customer real documents to fine tune or train your model. There is a human verification layer also involved here, which checks the annotation created by the auto annotation pipeline and corrects if necessary, and then it goes through the auto eval and auto train and auto annotation, auto train and auto eval pipelines where either it is multimodal LLM or specific models which are fine tuned, and once it is fine tuned, these models are evaluated against the ones which are already available and replaced whenever there is a better model there. And always the agent selects that better model in the next iteration. So by having this hybrid approach, it always helps us to process IDP tasks in an effective and efficient manner by handling the new customer requirements and new data requirements. So selecting an LLM agent based workflow will help us to solve these use cases efficiently and more accurately than having a static flow. As we conclude our session today, I'd like to drop a few key points here. So we are integrating our agentic workflows and hybrid IDP framework with our GenAI products like Bionic and Docify.
Looks like there is an issue. Sorry, Dr. Hari, are you with us right now? All right, let me go through some of the questions in the meantime while we figure out the issue. There's a question from Adriano. Is it
Drop
possible
a few key
to
points here.
just
So
one
we are
second.
integrating our
Yes.
agentic workflows and hybrid IDP framework with our GenAI products like Bionic and Docify, and we are giving it to the customers and business units through these platforms. So these advanced capabilities can help business units to solve their IDP task in an efficient manner. These solutions are not only offering document processing, but for structured data analysis and reasoning also possible. And it helps the business to greater efficiency and improve decision making. Coming in 30 minutes, my colleagues Mihir and Sriram will be talking about how generative AI can be extended to further aspects like knowledge graphs, which is always better for data analysis and decision making. I'm sure that it will be a great session for all of you. So I hope all of you will enjoy that session too. This end today's session. Now I'm happy to have any questions from your side. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Hari, for that insightful presentation. And so sorry, everyone, for that small technical glitch. Yeah, as I said, we do have a few questions from the audience. So maybe we can take a look at that in the 7 minutes that we have left. So one of the first questions that we got like from Adriano was like, is it possible to receive the recording of this session? Yes, Adriano. Once the event is done, maybe once both the days are done, please wait for an email from the Quantify team where you can access and how you can access, etc. All the recordings will be available. All right. Now from a session questions, one of the first questions we received, Dr. Hari, is can this architecture handle scalability as the volume of documents increase? Any response to that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it depends on the complexity of the scaling number of documents also, but still, as it's a hybrid approach, since there is an LLM agent there and we have auto train, auto eval pipelines there, and LLM selects based on the topic, it selects the model, it selects the task. Scaling it horizontally is not at all an issue, and it can be seamlessly done.
Thank you. Then the next question is what kind of business rules can be implemented to guide the LLM agent in this architecture?
Yeah, it purely depends on the application, like from when talk about document classification, starting from the types of documents to information extraction, where you comes to which are the entities you want to process, then from frauds and compliance related tasks, like what are the things for a particular insurance application, what do you define as a fraud, what are the compliance checks you need to do. So all these are the ones as a business rule or task specific business rules which the system expect from a customer or a user.
All right, we have time for one last question. how quickly can the system be integrated into existing processes?
It's again depends how legacy, how old is your system, but purely depends on number of stages and tasks which an LLM suggests for a particular task execution. But as for initial integration, it may not take more than a couple of weeks. And as continuous improvements is also a part of our IDP hybrid framework, as that continual improvement will keep on happening after the first time of integration with the legacy system, which will be in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
All right, we got actually one last question. So in your experience for documents that contains both tables and graphs and diagrams, etc., which set of LLMs best performed so far?
Yeah, I won't, especially for IDP, I won't say that there is one go LLM or one go multimodal LLM. That's why we did this empirical studies, and that's why we are coming up with a hybrid approach where LLM agent is in place. And it depends on the type of document and type of business requirement, and you can't go ahead with one sort of one number or one model which we can say, but it purely depends on the topic and task, and where the LLM agent plays in a crucial task and crucial factor in our IDP framework. Yeah.
Yeah, ideally, so it's hybrid and then task dependent. So yeah, like our framework can choose different components and bring it all together. All right, that's all the questions we have for now, and we are running out of time as well. So thank you so much, Dr. Hari, for that session and for taking the questions. The era of multimodal AI systems is just beginning, not just in document processing, but also in other avenues, I guess. So I'm sure the audience have picked a few things to take away from this session. Having said that, we are now going to jump in 2 minutes to our next session, which is on responsible AI, and we'll see how to integrate that into organizations. I'm sure it's going to be a very useful and insightful session as well. So I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you so much.